How's it going, everybody? So the day finally is here. We're talking It, Welcome to Derry. Really, I can't even define how excited I am to delve back into the world of It. I really enjoyed both chapters of Andy Muschietti's adaptation of the novel. I mean, I prefer chapter 1 more than chapter 2. Still, nevertheless, I wanted to see more of this world. The easiest way I can define how excited I am to talk about this show early with you guys, I'm legitimately recording this on my birthday. October 23rd is the day of my birth. So in a way, think of this as my birthday gift to you that I'm discussing this show at length here. Plus, as per usual, if there's enough hype and interest, I'll try to do weekly reviews and breakdowns as the episodes drop each and every week, so let me know down below. Now, I haven't seen a ton of the show to this point, but from the amount of It, Welcome to Derry that I have seen, I love the fascinating and twisted ways they've decided to enrich this world. Not just in the ways they decide to tackle more of the origin story to Pennywise, but continuing to build up the history of Derry. Considering he was so instrumental in making the It films work so well, I am glad that Andy Muschietti does have a huge hand in the series. Much like in the films, he does a phenomenal job returning to the franchise, crafting a fairly original tale of Derry's cursed history. In some ways, it does kind of mirror some of the research that Mike Hanlon did from the novel. It, Welcome to Derry does deal with some similar coming-of-age themes from the It films, but on top of that, this story is set even further back in the past, in the 1960s, so the series is deciding to tackle subject matter, effectively I might add, of the time period. You know, stuff like the Vietnam War, and especially the Civil Rights Movement, impacts Derry in some interesting Native American links to Pennywise. The episodes are very long, which is actually something that I'm appreciative of, because in this day and age of streaming, where it seems like all of these streaming shows are criminally short, the amount of runtime this show has allows the story to breathe and expand the world in fascinating ways that go along with the terrifying stuff that you're pretty much wanting to see out of It, Welcome to Derry. I wasn't entirely sure if this series, with or without Pennywise at the forefront, could tonally match the films, yet early on they show you they are not messing around here. You might be surprised to learn that the show's body count is pretty high. The best comparisons I could make is think maybe Stranger Things. You know, Stranger Things and It do have some similarities in that regard. Think if Stranger Things were a bit more demented with the depths they could go with blood, brutality, and eerie hallucinations that get under your skin. Speaking of, the character we're all excited to see more of in this, Pennywise. I don't know how much I can really talk about the character specifically because I'm trying to not spoil anything, and there are little tidbits here and there that I don't want to give away as far as when does Bill Skarsgard appear in the show. I will say, regardless, Bill Skarsgard still is absolutely brilliant in the role, and might even be more demented, odd, and extreme in this versus the film version of the character. Even when Pennywise himself is not on screen in It, Welcome to Derry, there's a sense of dread felt throughout the town, along with, you know, the thrill anticipating Pennywise or other forms, so to speak, popping up to scare the crap out of you. Without giving away when necessarily Bill Skarsgard shows up, I will just say he shows up sooner than you think. Heading into this, because of those usual streaming show mentalities, I figured that we probably wouldn't see Pennywise or Bill Skarsgard until maybe the last episode or two of the show, and I was thankfully proven wrong very quickly. Besides Bill Skarsgard, one of the main ingredients that made the It films, particularly Chapter 1, so great in my opinion, was the ensemble cast. Now, it is kind of difficult to replicate how great that cast was. It kind of was a lightning in the bottle type situation. However, I still really enjoyed the majority of a cast they assembled here for Welcome to Derry. Several of the main cast of characters I found myself very invested in. Kimberly Norris Guerrero's Rose, due to her connection to the history of Pennywise, is really cool. Since this is the same town after all, there is some connective tissue with some Hanlon ancestors, following two of Mike Hanlon's relatives played by Taylor Page and Jovan Adipo. One of the major details I appreciate about It, Welcome to Derry, and I'm sure if you're a big Stephen King fan, you're gonna love this as well, is all of the little winks and nods to stuff in the background to other Stephen King properties. Most of them aren't overt and in your face. They are kind of subtle, fun winks, like buses heading to Shawshank Prison. The best one by far to me is the addition of Dick Halloran, who most of us know from The Shining. Chris Chalk is fantastic. While we're exploring how exactly he's involved in the events that transpire around this time in Derry, it's been quite a long period of time since I've read both The Shining and It, but Dick Hallorann did have a link between them, so I like the additional depth to the story and the overarching universe, allowing that element to be explored through this television show. Overall, in my opinion, It Welcome to Derry, at least from what I've seen, is setting up to be a really thrilling companion piece to the It films, and showcase some very interesting peeks behind the curtain to Derry's horrific past, along with Pennywise's twisted hunger and dread enveloping this town with nightmarish glee and brutality. If you love the It films, the pilot episode alone I think is going to really hook you into wanting to invest in the rest of the series. The ending in particular has a great hook in my opinion. Once you get a chance to check out It Welcome to Derry when it debuts this weekend on HBO, I'd love to know your thoughts down below. Did you like the series? Did you not like the series? Thank you guys, as always, check out videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure to like the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. Till next time, see you guys later.